I know it's been a long day. I think we could all agree that technology has outpaced the law with respect to the protection of private information. I wonder if you think it would be reasonable for Congress to define the legal duty of privacy that's owed by private companies to their customers with respect to their personal information.
Congressman, I think that makes sense to discuss. And I agree with the broader point that I think you're making, which is that the internet and technology overall is just becoming a much more important part of all of our lives. The companies in the technology industry are growing.
Right, that's what I mean by it's outpaced. And I wonder, I also want to take you at your word. I believe you're sincere that you personally place a high value on consumer privacy, and that personal commitment is significant at Facebook today coming from you, given your position. But I also observe, and you'd agree, that the performance on privacy has been inconsistent. I wonder, myself, whether that's because it's not a bottom line issue. It appears that the shareholders are interested in maximizing profits. Privacy certainly doesn't drive profits, I don't think, but also may interfere with profits if you have to sacrifice your ad revenues because of privacy concerns. Would it not be appropriate for us, once we define this duty, to assess financial penalties in a way that would sufficiently send a signal to the shareholders and to your employees, who you must be frustrated with too, that the privacy you're so concerned about is a bottom line issue at Facebook?
Congressman, it's certainly something that we can consider, although one thing that I would push back on is I think it is often characterized as maybe these mistakes happen because there's some conflict between what people want and business interests. I actually don't think that's the case. I think a lot of these hard decisions come down to different interests between different people. So, for example, on the one hand, people want the ability to sign into apps and bring some of their information and bring some of their friends' information in order to have a social experience. And on the other hand, everyone wants their information locked down and completely private. And the question is not a business question as much as which of those equities do you weigh more?
I think part of it is that, but part of it is also what happened with Cambridge Analytica. Some of this data got away from us. And I'd suggest to you that if there were financial consequences to that made a difference to the business, not people dropping their Facebook accounts, they would get more attention. And it's not so much a business model choice. I congratulate you on your business model. But it's that these issues aren't getting the bottom line attention that I think would have made them a priority with respect to Facebook. Let me just follow up in my final time on an exchange you had with Senator Graham yesterday about regulation. And I think Senator said, do you as a company welcome regulation? You said if it's the right regulation, then yes. Question, do you think that the Europeans have it right? And you said, I think they get some things right. I wanted you to elaborate on what the Europeans got right and what do you think they got wrong?
Congressman, well, there are a lot of things that the Europeans do, and I think that GDPR in general is going to be a very positive step for the internet, and it codifies a lot of the things in there are things that we've done for a long time. Some of them are things that I think would be good steps for us to take. So, for example, the controls that this requires are generally privacy controls that we've offered around the world for years. Putting the tools in front of people repeatedly, not just having them in settings, but putting them in front of people and getting and making sure that people understand what the controls are and that they get affirmative consent, I think is a good thing to do that we've done periodically in the past. But I think it makes sense to do more. Right. And I think that's something that GDPR will require us to do and will be positive.
Anything you think they got wrong?
I need to think about that more.
Well, I appreciate it if you could respond in writing. I really appreciate you being here. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.